Welcome back to the north of Chile, where the desert meets the Pacific Ocean and ancient traditions are still celebrated. We are Andrea and Mike from Xtremes. Since 2018, we have been living and traveling full-time in our Mercedes-Benz expedition truck. Join us on our journey around the globe. We are back at the Pacific coast of Chile. We mainly follow the coastal road and make trips into the desert to visit different places, like this canyon where we camp for several days, enjoy the shade of the big trees and take care of several tasks like cleaning the solar panels of our truck. From here, we visit the Valle de la Sana, which is a tiny town with around 100 inhabitants. Here we can also visit a pre-Inca fortification, which looks even more impressive from the air. These are the remains of what was once a 250-meter-long fortress with 110 internal rooms and narrow passageways. As we arrive in the next town, we find out that there's a festival taking place over the weekend, so of course we stay to witness these colorful traditions dating back to pre-Columbian times. Dusty days on the road leading through the desert follow. In the middle of the desert, we make a stop at the famous Mano del Desierto. This sculpture has become a must-visit for any overlander traveling the Pan American Highway. Further south, we turn off the main route, right into the desert. The last part of the path gets pretty narrow, and there are some washouts that look a bit dodgy. We decide to fill them up with rocks since we're at a point where we can't turn around. It's not a great situation, but in the end it worked out well. The next morning, we go for a hike into the canyon. A friend had told us about some ancient rock art which can be found along the dry riverbed. Apparently, there are more than 1,000 images on the entire site, depicting silhouettes of whales, sea lions, fish, turtles, and fishing boats, guanacos, and hunters. So we've walked for about 45 minutes, right?
Yeah, that's about right.
And we just encountered the first rock paintings. There's gonna be some more which are gonna be better recognizable. It's a bit of a steeper section here. It's always easy for Mike because he's taller. Little water break. Check this out. There's some, I don't know, it looks like guanacos or something. Could be. And hunters. There's a bow. I'm trying to show you without touching it. Hunter, bow, small guanaco, big guanaco. I think. Whales. Again. I'm not sure what this on top is here, but it looks really cool. And more whales.
Probably a fishing boat, whale, dolphin, sea lions, and another one.
This one's really cool. Super detailed. It's really warm now. We're gonna walk up under this burning sun. So we're heading up the trail. It's not hard to walk, but the air is very dry. And it's probably around 30 degrees now. So a little bit warm. But we're getting closer. At the end of the day, we watch the sun as it disappears into a sea of clouds. So we're leaving our place in the desert now, heading back a bit closer to civilization, back down to the ocean. But we're gonna take a different approach than we took to getting here because the road was very narrow and quite honestly it was a bit sketchy. We shouldn't have driven it. There is no alternative road. Instead we're just gonna drive straight down the hill. We're just gonna pick the flattest spot and go from there. Although the surface looked pretty good at first, it was actually very unpredictable. Back on tarmac, the road takes us down a steady descent from 2,000 meters to 0 meters within 32 kilometers. Mike takes it nice and easy to ensure that the brakes of the truck don't overheat. Shortly after reaching the coast, we turn off onto another track which takes us to a small beach. Are you happy with the place?
Absolutely.
Check it out, guys. Right by the water. From desert to the ocean, just within 50 kilometers. We decide to stay here for a few days and then continue along the coast, camping in one beautiful spot after the other, next to small fishermen towns with interesting decorations or far away from any signs of people. There are literally millions of possible camp spots here. We notice that our water pump has been sounding strangely, and after taking it apart, it's clear that it's time to replace it. Luckily, we're able to get a new one within a few days. We pick it up in the city of Copiapó, and Mike replaces it on the same day. The next morning, we wake up to a thick layer of fog covering the giant sand dunes around us. Considering that we're in one of the driest places on Earth, this is truly magical to experience in person. Once the fog clears, it's time to get a different perspective of our surroundings. Our journey along the coast continues, stopping in small towns to restock on supplies and enjoying a few quiet days camping by the sea before we loop round and head north again. How's the view from up there? Let's check it out. Over the past 2 years, we spent around 300 days in Chile. We've seen so much of this beautiful country, but now it's time to head to the border once again. Our route takes us across the desert towards the Andes Mountains. Good morning! So today we started at 2,400 meters above sea level, and we're heading up the Paso de Jama, which is the northernmost pass to Argentina, between Chile and Argentina, and it goes up to 4,800 and something meters, so it's a very constant, at times steep ascent up to the border. Now we're already at 3,000 meters. We're also doing a little experiment just for the fun of it. We bought this packet of chips and we're making a little time lapse to see how it expands with the difference in height. 3,800 meters and we got 1,000 more to go. Chips look pretty tight. I don't know if they're gonna hold it. What do you think? Are they gonna pop? Chips are officially tested to 3,900 meters above sea level. So I guess now we can eat them. Snacking chips, we continue towards the border. The Oxford takes us steadily up the mountain, all the way up to 4,820 meters above sea level. This is probably the last time we cross the border between Chile and Argentina. Stay tuned to find out where our journey will take us next.
Mercedes-Benz. Trucks you can trust.